A new Grand Rapids documentary set to be released in just under 2 weeks takes viewers inside the inner workings of the Grand Rapids Police Department. The chief saying it's all in an effort to increase transparency and police trust.
News 8's Adriana Doria spoke with the chief about the series and some community stakeholders to get their reactions to the documentary and if they think the new leadership these past few years has turned the department around.
Yeah, Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrom has been working with the department now for about 3 years, but he says today looks a lot different than when he started. That was at a point when he says trust and transparency within the department was at an all-time low, and he has made an attempt to bridge that gap in his tenure. And this new documentary is something that he thinks will help them do so.
When I moved here 2 years ago from Chicago, trust in this police department was at an all-time low.
His time with the police department started 3 years ago.
I knew that I had to break down the walls.
Chief Eric Winstrom with the Grand Rapids Police Department began his tenure at a time when civil unrest and police distrust had reached their breaking point.
It wasn't a matter of rebuilding trust. It was, all right, I'm going to act like this is ground floor.
And his efforts to do so are soon going to be on display in an investigation discovery documentary series focused entirely on GRPD.
This is the most access that a documentary film crew's ever had to a police department before.
The documentary follows officers for 100 days to get a glimpse of the day-to-day operation. And Winstrom says it will focus on it all.
This show is not about making the police department look good. Knowing the cases that they follow, I think there's enough gray in there that you're going to be able to see humans are not perfect, including police.
Since his tenure began, Winstrom says he has been focused on improving trust, recruitment, and culture in the department and the city.
How I'm going to build trust is I'm going to do the right thing tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I'm here.
For some, the trust has not improved. Clee Jackson with the Grand Rapids branch of the NAACP says while it has not necessarily gotten worse, it also hasn't gotten better.
I don't speak for the entire black community, and no one should. So I'm going to speak from an NAACP perspective in terms of some of the complaints that we receive. Their trust is not at an all-time high. It's just not.
But for other advocates like Marianne Barrera Young with the Baxter Neighborhood Association, she says this documentary will help promote conversation between the department and the community.
I hope people start talking, asking questions, start wanting meetings where we can pull the police back out and talk about the documentary. It's a conversation piece too. You know, and I think that's good because it gets them more involved.
Soon, people will be able to decide for themselves when the first episode comes out on April 8th, leaving many in the community hopeful for what positives this documentary can bring for the city.
I hope that as an entire city, we've been moving in the right direction for the past 3+ years, and I think we're going to keep moving in that direction. I think there's a real opportunity that this documentary series actually helps us get there.
Winstrom did add that so far this year there have been no deadly shootings to date, and he hopes to keep it that way for the rest of the year. Now, as for the documentary, the first episode comes out on April 8th, and we have more information on our website about how you can watch the first episode.